I'll provide some guidance for our meditation. Please go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture, taking care to ensure that your spine is straight and relaxed. When you're ready, please go ahead and softly close your eyes. And using whichever method you find most effective, allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. I'd like you now to please very gently bring your awareness to both of your big toes. Actually, the underside of your two big toes, where the bulk of the padding of your big toes is located. Draw your awareness to these parts of your big toes and gently and deliberately release any tension that you might be carrying in your big toes. Just release it, let go, and allow it to dissolve into the earth, bringing no harm to anyone or to the planet itself. Please do the same for all of your toes, all of your toes in both feet. Again, the undersides, where the padding is located. Any tightness, any tension in these toes, in any of your toes, sides of your toes, the tops, the very tips, where many nerve endings are. Just allow that tension to dissipate completely. Just release it and let go. And onto the balls of your feet, the two balls of your feet, the underside there. So much wear. We get so much use out of our feet in general, and the balls of our feet in particular. It's completely reasonable to believe that there's tension, tightness, unresolved karma in the form of tension and tightness in the balls of your feet. Just release that tension, release that tightness. Allow it also to dissolve into the ground, bringing no harm to anyone. Please gently and deliberately do this now. And then on to the arches of your feet. Any tightness, any constriction that may be residing in the arches of your 2 feet. Release completely that tension. Just let it go now. as well as the heels of both of your feet, and maybe even up into the Achilles tendon. Any tightness, any tension, tightness and tension, just release that now and let go. The ankles now. So much use. We get so much use out of our ankles. Any unresolved karma that may be residing in your ankles, all throughout your ankles, actually. Any unresolved karma which is manifested in the form of tension, tightness. Tension and tightness you might not even be aware of. Please gently and deliberately release this tension and tightness. Up into the calves now, the lower parts of your legs that we have labeled calves. Any tightness in the muscles and the tendons and the bones even. Any tightness, any constriction, any blockages of any kind. Just release this now and let go. On up now into your knees, both of your knees. These joints are so load bearing, they carry so much of our weight. It's reasonable, even prudent, to expect that there's tension, all forms of tension, both subtle and overtly manifest within our knees. Give yourself complete permission to release this unresolved karma and just let go and release. And as always, please feel free to bring your awareness not only to the words that you hear, but also to the silent gaps in between the words and in between the sentences. Onto the upper parts of our legs. Please bring your awareness in particular to the backsides of the upper parts of your two legs. Some very, very large muscle sets in the upper parts of our legs. This is a great opportunity to release any tension, any tightness that you may have been carrying for several years. Give yourself permission to release that tension and that tightness now. And up into the hips, both your left and your right hips. Any tightness, any blockages there, any form of tension whatsoever. Please release that now completely and just let go. You want it to happen, so just let it happen. moving up now into our torso, into the region of our abdomen and the chest area. In particular, the inner part of your chest. This is where your heart chakra is located. Your heart chakra being the seat of love and compassion. Any blockages, any unresolved karma that may be about in the region of your chest, in particular, the center of your chest, give yourself full permission to release that tension now, that tightness. Further up now into your neck and your throat and into your face, your facial muscles, especially the muscles all around your cheekbones. Any form of constriction, whether it appeared sometime today or yesterday, or if it appeared several years ago, anything in between, just release that tension now completely. And on up into your brain now. Your brain, the driver of virtually everything we do. We know with certainty that we are carrying a great deal of tightness and tension within our brain all throughout. Just release any unresolved karma that has manifested in the form of tension, tightness, constriction within your brain. Release that now completely. And finally into your shoulders and your arms, down to your wrists, into your hands, the knuckles of your hands, the tips of your fingers, the nail beds of your fingers, everything from your shoulders down to the tips of your fingers, any tightness in your two arms, in these two regions, please release that now, gently and deliberately. And for the last moment or two of our meditation this morning, I'd like you to please just rest in a state of non-conceptual awareness. All that is asked of you is to silently observe within this space of quiet stillness. Now, please, very gently, very gradually, allow your consciousness to become less absorbed as you begin to arise from meditation. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May war and conflict and aggression be concepts that are soon completely obsolete in this world, gone without any trace. And instead, may the people of this world soon come to, may we people of this world soon come to abide in a constant state of understanding, acceptance, empathy, and compassion. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you very much, everybody, and welcome back. I hope, hi. I hope you guys are enjoying that that tension / unresolved karma release meditation. I know I am. It's a really beneficial practice of purification practice. Really, it's what it's commonly referred to in meditation schools. So I want to talk just a little bit more about the question that Tina asked at the end of class last Monday. And just as an aside, you guys, my recording and Zoom apparatus is such that the camera is located way above the screen. It's kind of one of those webcams that attaches. And so I try to look into the camera for our classes, and that makes it difficult for me to look down and see other people like Tina was waving her hand. I realized that as I was editing the video. So fortunately, Tina unmuted herself and asked the question. So I would invite you to please don't hesitate. If you have a question and you're waving your hand and I'm not seeing you, like, speak up, please. It's just the camera is so far above the panels of you guys. So on Monday, we were talking about using Dharma, using Dharma as a mirror to reflect back to us what's going on with our mind. For each of us, there is no world, there are no enemies, there are no friends, there are no strangers, there's no anything separate from our mind. We create it all with our mind. So to the extent that we perceive bad things in the world, impurities, we have to ask ourselves, where is that coming from? You know, it's necessarily a projection of our mind. Tina asked on Monday, I'm going to paraphrase, but she said, in so many words, what about people who are regarded, individuals who are regarded by many people as being bad? The example she used was Vladimir Putin. And Tina answered her own question really beautifully. She said, again, in so many words, kind of how other people perceive bad people, with air quotes, how other people perceive bad people isn't really our business. Our business is what's going on in our own mind. And it's kind of what my teacher sometimes refers to as inappropriate attention, paying inappropriate attention to that which really doesn't have much to do with our own training of the mind. And I offered also that, there's no such thing as a person who is universally regarded as being bad or good. Some of the most disliked people that have ever existed still had people who thought they were good, who thought that they were right and wholesome. Everybody from Genghis Khan to Adolf Hitler to what some would say is a modern day example of Vladimir Putin. If they were inherently, fundamentally bad people through and through, everybody would regard them in the same way. The fact is, there are lots of people who like Putin, just like there are lots of people who liked Hitler and lots of people who liked Genghis Khan and all down the line. So really it comes back to, as Tina said, what's going on with our mind. And let's just stay with this Vladimir Putin example for just another minute, if we could. And this is I'm going to invite you to use some of your creative energies on this. So Vladimir Putin, if you are regarding him as being a bad person, an aggressive, violent person, some would say a criminal person, what is Vladimir Putin? That's a projection of your mind. What is Vladimir Putin, if your view is that, what is he reflecting back to you? What are you, and this is an individual, a question for each of us individually. What are you supposed to learn about what Vladimir Putin is reflecting back to you using the mirror of Dharma? If you guys have any ideas, please feel free to unmute yourself and share.
This is Allison. I think fear of being perceived as weak, fear of losing his stature in the world, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Excellent. And what does that reflect back to, if for those of us who share that view that Allison just shared, what is that reflecting back as we look homeward, angels? Is Vladimir Putin a reflection of the fear that I am experiencing, or the fear that I have of losing control? One of my answers to the same question is, what Vladimir Putin reflects back to me is has to do with power. It's like it appears, I don't know his mind, but it appears as though he is very preoccupied with maintaining control over the power he has and expanding his control. How am I using the mirror? How am I doing with my own need for power? Right? There's absolutely zero chance that I am going to invade a neighboring country and declare war. And there are people in my life who maybe at some subtle level, I've never really thought of myself as being like a power monger. But what about maybe my roommates or my domestic partner, my spouse, my neighbors, trying to exert my will on my neighbors who aren't behaving the way I want them to and the way I think they should. It's really, really a beautiful opportunity to practice this mirror of Dharma that reflects back to us what our mind has created. And then we can derive lessons from what's being reflected back to us. Any other thoughts that anybody would like to share about the whole reflection and Vladimir Putin or anybody else? Fear can apply to a lot of different situations, a lot of different scenarios. And it would be remiss of me to also not point out that please remember, so often, I might have even said this on Monday, so often we think about karma within a negative context, and sort of like what's being reflected back to us in sort of like a negative aspect, our enemies, people we have aversion towards, situations we don't like. Remember that gate swings the other way too, to the extent that you perceive pure beings being reflected back to you. That's coming from the purity of your mind, pure situations. You encounter people, whether they're known to you in your personal life or kind of famous figures who you've never met, just recognizing and beholding those good, wholesome qualities. That's a statement about your mind too. It's reflecting back to your mind that there is wholesomeness and pure view and compassion within your own heart. And there's good news with that. There's really good news for both. It's a teaching, both are a teaching, whether good is being reflected back to you or not good is being reflected back to you or neutrality is being reflected back to you. There are lessons to be learned in all of those scenarios or situations. So thank you, you guys. Thank you for being here. Anne, welcome back. April, welcome back. Steve, nice to have you here for the first time. And all you regulars, welcome back. Love you guys just as much as everybody. Okay. Have a good weekend.
You, Jeff.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jeff.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Good to
Jeff.
see you.